Hello and welcome to Flipping Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine review, news, and interview channel. And welcome to the very first episode of something I'm calling First Appearances. I got the idea for this video back after Mort Drucker passed away. I made a video about the first artwork that he did for Mad Magazine and compared it to later work, and you can see that video right there. But you know, it seems a little sad to just wait until people pass away to do videos like that. So I thought it'd be fun to take artists every once in a while and look at their very first appearance in Mad Magazine. So today, in honor of Al Jaffee and his retirement, I'm going to be looking at the very first appearance of Al Jaffee in Mad Magazine, both as a writer and an artist, because those are two different first appearances for him. Now, I have most everything set up. If you ever wonder where I get the information for these videos, like that sort of like encyclopedic information, I get it from this Doug Guildford's Mad cover site. I know I've mentioned it in the past, but it's definitely a website that you can get lost in quite easily. It's pretty awesome. I've used this to I made like a spreadsheet of my Mad Magazine collection, and I've gone through this website to help make that and identify books that I didn't really know what they were. So check it out. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to start with his very first appearance as a writer, because that is his first appearance in Mad Magazine. And so we can see that right over here. Mad Magazine issue number 25. And so he was the writer on this: baseball, science, or skill. Managers agree it's not important whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game that counts. So we have a graphic. This is a graphic example of how to play the game. So our friend Al Jaffee was the writer on this, and the artist is Jack Davis. And if you're gonna be starting off your career, it's hard to imagine better artists. I kind of have there are better artists, but like as far as Mad Magazine goes, it's hard to imagine a better artist to have draw your work as a writer. I imagine that, like, if you were in comic books and your debut as a writer, you had somebody like Jim Lee or like Frank Miller doing the art on your book. That would be pretty unbelievable. So having this be his first appearance and having it illustrated by Jack Davis, that's got to be honor, right? I imagine it must have been. See, this is the type of question I would ask Al Jaffee if I could get him on one of my interview things, but I'm not ready for that. So it takes more than just players to make a baseball team. There are owners, coaches, trainers, bat boys, relatives, and many other sponges busily at work behind the scenes. But on the field, the one guy who runs the whole show is the manager. On his broad shoulders, they pile on all the troubles. His job is to win games, no matter what kind of crummy no matter what kind of crummy team those guys behind the scenes stick him with. Each manager has his own way of doing this, but generally, he's either the scientific type or the instinctive type. Oh, here we have Smokey Allshot. He's our scientific manager. He's that Moneyball guy, right? And then Casey Stumble, he's the instinctive manager. So I'm curious as to which is which in this illustration. Oh, he's just getting that poor third baseman, just getting totally smoked. Manager Stumble instinctively selects starting pitcher. How does this look on the thing? See if I can zoom in. I'm going to move. I'm going to shrink. I'm the least important part. There we go. So, Manager Stumble instinctively selects starting pitcher. All right, so we have these guys throwing curveball. I don't know, slider. Stumble carefully eyes his pitchers. notes effect of hot weather on them, and then makes a swift, sure final pick. In the tail, we have Grimness, Fort, Iverly. That Cucks. Manager Allshot scientifically selects the starting pitcher. So look at Smokey runs routine check on pitchers. Look at him. He's reading books. He's got like a slide ruler. There's some guy back here. Some nerd back there with like a computer and a stack of books. Prepares pitchers for hot weather. And then makes quick calculated choice. Now, like what I'm very curious about when it comes to having somebody like Jack Davis illustrate your work, how much of the visuals were Jack Davis and how much of these visuals were written by Al Jaffee? I mean, I like this final idea of making a swift and sure final pick. Yes, but like, like dumping ice cubes down the pants, just drinking, an Arnold Palmer down there in a hammock. I'm just, it'd be interesting to know what are the things that Al Jaffee actually picked out and what are the things that that Jack Davis slipped in there, utilizing his own sense of humor. So managers clash in Game of the Year. The stands are packed with cheering, jeering, eating, drinking mass of humanity. Fans seem to be about equally divided in their sentiments. In fact, some have to be divided by stadium police as they try to shove each other's sentiments down each other's throats. Hey, the more things change, what am I trying to say? The more things change, the more they stay the same. So, Allshot puts in a lefty pitcher. Look at this guy. Look at the arm on him. Casey switches to a righty batter. Allshot switches to a righty pitcher. Casey switches to a switch hitter. New York. Allshot switches to a switch pitcher, so Casey switches to a pitch hitter. So Hitchy kitches to a witch itcher. I love this. Now look at, you can see, all right, this is about Al Jaffee. I'm not going to start talking about Jack Davis's art. Stay focused. Finally, the last remaining eligible players are reached. I have to say, like, this is so well written. And it's like, I got to buy this issue. The only reason I'm not doing an overhead shot is because I don't have this issue. I do have his first appearance as an artist, and that is right behind me, in fact. Finally, the last remaining eligible players are reached. Melon Crudley comes to bat. Look at him. Alfred E. Newman pitches. Whoa. Look at, that's not Alfred E. Newman, though. That's an imposter. Melvin misses a third strike, and the catcher does the same. Now, if you don't know, if catcher drops the ball, or is that only in a... No, that would be in the strike. If he drops the ball, then you get to run. That's that's a rule. So anyway, official rule book. Oh, here we go. The batter can run on a dropped third strike. Fantastic play that followed this diagram below. Fantastic play that followed is diagrammed below. Look at this. Here's hopping along. Umpire follows catcher closely. Catcher follows ball closely. Lively rabbit ball bounces into gopher hole. First baseman runs to help catcher recover ball. Pitcher goes to cover first, not knowing runner has already passed it. Runner hops around bases like crazy. Field umpire closely follows play. Second baseman covers third. I love this. This reminds me of the cliches like Paul Coker would illustrate. Shortstop hopes to scare runner by making like he's got ball. Left fielder tells third baseman to mind his own business. Third baseman motions right fielder to play farther out. Manager Allshot collapses. Unruly mob piles onto field. Oh, this is awesome. Is that? Oh, here we go. Now, following exciting events help tie up all the loose ends. Look at, we have he gets a parade. He is paraded about. Alfred E. Newman is rewarded by fans for striking Melon Crudley out. Losing manager Alshot is fired. He blames everything on statisticians. Oh. Casey denied pay hike, quits, confident he'll make much better paying job. Poor guy. He's just selling nuts. Catcher who disastrously dropped third strike is traded to a minor league. So there we have our very first appearance of the writer Al Jaffee. And it's hilarious. I love this. But I mean, like those super early issues, they very seldom are not hilarious to me. So kind of, you know, don't listen to me. Now here we go in Mad issue number 26. Hold on. Mad Magazine issue number 26. I have it here. Zoop. It's the one with a Sputnik on the cover. Or a Sputnik-like satellite. Hopefully that doesn't fall. Here we have his first appearance as a writer and artist. Now, if we go back, actually, before I start talking about this, most of his work was as a writer. He got like 3 jobs. We have auto safety features in number 27. And we have Super Guided Missile, where he's illustrating. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder who wrote that. But anyway, you can see like marked on the side here. There's up here, artist is A, writer is W. You can see he made his bones as a writer for a long, long time at Mad Magazine. And so, I mean, it wasn't until like really the fold-in that's when you start seeing all of those artist-writer things. Now I'm thinking about this. Wait, why didn't I pull out number 86? Probably don't have number 86. I think maybe looking at a fold-in, that'll be something fun to do on a separate video. I just want to look at first appearances on this. Stay focused, man. All right, so one thing I noticed, it's, so Ben Hogan, he's a golfer. I just got that. Right? Isn't it Ben Hogan? He's a golfer, right? Ben Hogan. Yeah, he was a golfer. All right. I've read this before, but it wasn't until I've read it out loud that I finally understood it. So Ben Hogan reveals mystery gimmick that made him rich and famous. So without secret, Hogan's conventional grip is exactly the same one he has used for years with unspectacular results. With secret, Hogan shifts his fingers ever so slightly, which is the main reason why his opponents could not detect it. And it's like such a grotesque drawing with like, I mean, how many fingers does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 2 thumbs. Like, it's just so disgusting to me. I don't know why. So there we go. He has his gimmick, his secret gimmick. Now, the better golfer you become, the more trouble you'll have with the hook. A hook is the natural outgrowth of a more powerful swing. It would be almost funny if it weren't so pathetic to see the ridiculous lengths that some famous tournament players have gone to get rid of this terrible problem. Take the case of my old friend Sam Snood. Sam approached the problem with calm logic. He figured that since a hook veers off to the left, he could solve it by standing a little further over to the right. Little by little, he edged further and further over to the right, and when the ball was almost landing just right, he suddenly developed a terrible slice. Since a slice veers off in the opposite direction of a hook, poor old Sam could do nothing else but start working his way back in the other direction. Just as the slice was about to disappear, guess what? That's right, the hook returned. With calm logic, Sam proceeded to smash every club over his caddy's head. Mang Lloydrum tried various methods of licking the demon hook, including a special set of anti-hook clubs with built-in battery-operated swivel heads. That's not legal. You can't do that in the PGA. But anyway, looking at his artwork, there is something very familiar about it. Now, if you did watch that, Remembering Mort Drucker, where I looked at his very first illustrations for Mad Magazine, one thing you'll notice is that it looks incredibly different from what he ended up, that sort of like iconic style of caricature that he developed over the years. Whereas this, for some reason, especially these hands, it looks like an Al Jaffee drawing. With the fold-ins, there was not like a lot of depth, right? It was like a single point of perspective, and everything was like very precise, but not exact. That makes sense. And so it wasn't so much, they didn't really look realistic because the point was they had to join together in order to convey the joke. But like even like this looks like his style. This one sort of doesn't as much. But if we move on to the next page, here we go. I don't know how to describe it, I guess. If you have a way of mentioning this in the comments about what it is that looks like a Jaffee drawing, I'm having a hard time putting my finger on it. But to me, this does look like Al Jaffee's style. His style did change over the years, of course, over the decades that he worked for Mad Magazine. But to me, it just still feels very, very Jaffee. So let's go through this. This is the secret. Ben Ogan's secret to a great swing. The secret begins when Ogan goes into his backswing. He starts his loosening up, as shown in picture 2, and continues until he reaches critical moments. Like, I love this. So he's the club is crashing into the panels, the edge of the panel, and breaking. He reaches critical moment 3, whereupon his left hand pronates downwards. Great speed. Here we have it. Look at it hit again right there. Secret concludes with reverse pronation upwards, C6, and a firm tightening grip, 7. Downswing continues until the moment of contact as an 8. Follow through and right pinky pointing to spot ball should light 9. Okay, first off, I feel like part of the scan cut something off. But it's I absolutely love this. If you've ever tried to follow instructions, like this reminds me of like the WikiHow pages. It's just incredibly, some of them are incredibly unhelpful in the way they try to describe things and add pictures to them. All right. That is the end of it, and we can see poor Ben Ogan. He can't catch a break. But anyway, with that, I'm going to switch back over. Then the music's going to start. All right, there we go. I fixed it, kind of. I haven't fixed it. I actually go in and actually fix it. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this video of first appearances, let me know if there's an artist that you think I should cover in first appearances. Hey, let me know. I would love to hear it. I've been paying attention to the comments, and so a few people have brought up issues that they want to have me like review and go over. Some folks have been like, "Hey, man, what's up with the '80s? Like you're acting like the '70s and '80s never happened." I'm just jumping from like beginning to end again and again and again. So I'm going to try to get an 80s issue up next Saturday. But if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and share it out. If you disliked it, hey, share it with somebody you don't like. And with that concludes our very first episode of Flipping Through First Appearances. Toodaloo.